Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm your instructor Joy. So this is a following series from last week. Last week we talked about shifting with single stops. Today we're going to talk about shifting with double stops. I talked about Dounis method, which is my favorite when it comes to shifting exercise or mastering shifting, because he has a very simple and yet easy way for us to practice to get rid of the tension, therefore gain the control during shifting. But before I go into that, I would like to thank you all for your kind support, nice questions and comments. Some of you have been very generous with your time answering others' questions while I'm being a little slow. Sorry about that. And also thank you very much for sending me donations here and also my Patreon page, booking lessons with me. All your kind support means so much to me and encourages me to continue. Thank you very much. So when it comes to shifting, we talked about in our last video with us shifting with the single stops. So Dounis suggests simply moving back and forth, we learn how to shake off the tension, which is a brilliant idea. And when it comes to double stops, he suggests to start with octave, which I totally agree, because when it comes to double stops, many parts are moving, but octave is a bit different than other double stops, because it keeps in the left hand in a one good shape that stays in one position, and when you shift you have to move as a one unit without many moving parts. Unlike when you play third and sixth, sometimes you have to adjust your finger and hand, and depending how you do, thumb goes a little back and forth like that, which you should do that. But when it comes to octaves, left hand pretty much stays same. Yeah, of course the distance between 1 and 4 gonna get smaller as you get higher and a little wider as you get lower position, but the entire hand stays in one shape, which is a great way of training the left hand when it comes to double stops. However, when he introduces us to double stop shifting, he asks us to do first the entire shifting before we do the scales. So from first to the seventh, then down. Then he asks us to play scale, which it makes sense. I mean, you first want to know what distance you're going, the hand position that will be changed. So as you get higher position, we know we need to turn our left hand and then back and forth. But if you are new to such exercise, this shifting from first to the seventh position can be just too large to do. So that's why I use his ideas of going back and forth. I do a couple more times, but I suggest my students, I work with my students with a smaller interval, and that's where Sevcik Preparatory Double Stopping Study, Opus, I believe, Opus 9, comes really handy. So when he introduced Sevcik, has similar ideas. He has his own variations of how to practice. Another brilliant pedagogue that I am really fond of. He started with the first second. So even though the idea is good, but I find it when you practice only second, the distance is not large enough, and a lot of people end up leaving the thumb behind and they shift like that, which is another technique that one should master. But here we're learning to shift, meaning you have to take your thumb with you. So instead of just going second, I like to take his a little later study of octave. I believe that's number 19 of his study book of preparatory double stopping, Opus 9, number 19. So which is from first to the third, second, fourth. So his book is suggested. Sorry, but it's written like that from first, to third, now second to the fourth, and then third to the fifth, on and on like that. But I like to mix Sevcik study, because the interval is just perfect to practice for my students and myself, with a Dounis, meaning back and forth a couple of times. So while doing back and forth, it shakes off the unnecessary tension on the left hand. It just brings your left hand in naturally relaxed position. Just keep in mind to bring your thumb with you, nothing too heavy, and use one long bow while you do back and forth. That way the left hand learns to be calm, just like the right hand moves, yeah? So instead of, like Sevcik suggests, you do back and forth. I like to suggest maybe 2, 3, even 4 times. And then once you have it, vibrate lightly just to check whether you're relaxed enough. Again. Then back and then now reverse. Now you do second position to the fourth. And now when you go from third to the fifth, make sure the left hand changes, because from the third to the fifth, we have to bring our thumb under the neck and bring our left hand to our right, because there's a big body there, right? And then keep that in mind, and then you do the same thing. Instead of 1, and then reverse. Again. Yeah, always focus on being really feather-like fingertip while you shift, and also vibrate a bit to check and make sure that you're landing notes in tune and relaxed way. Then after you're done, then you can go back to the shifting of the Dounis and go all the way to the first to the 7th position. But there's no rush. With the shifting, you should be able to shift in all interval, all distance, not only large. So start one step at a time. Second interval of second is a little too small, meaning when from to the first to the second position, that's a little too small, so I suggest always move interval of third, such as from first to the third, second to the fourth, third or fifth, and so on. Yeah, so try this one yourself, and you will be amazed. Sometimes we don't have to think a lot, just allow your body to work with physics, and then it will do it for you. And that's a beautiful way. It's not always we have to overly command our left hand what to do. Just allow your hand to do it for you, and it finds on its way to relax by just moving fast. Yeah, just be aware of light fingertip and then moving as fast as you can. And I hope this video was helpful, and happy shifting practicing. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.